Hi, this is Tracy DeMario, and I am a Scentsy Family Superstar Director, and today we're going to talk about partying. So let's party and get started right away. First of all, whenever you're doing parties, I highly recommend keeping it simple. We call it KISS. Keep it sensationally simple. You want to be sure that your display, your presentation, and your food is very easy and very replicable. Remember, the only way others are going to ever want to do what we do is if we keep it simple and it looks like something that would be fun and very easy for others to do. The simpler it is, the more relaxed you're going to be. I've been to numerous other home parties with other different direct selling companies, and I've watched them make 3 or 4 trips from their car into the house. I've watched them have to set up their table, prep their food, wash their dishes, take everything out to the car in 3 or 4 times, and I've said to myself, wow, now that looks like work. There's no way I would ever want to sell that product. So you want to keep that in mind, because people that are there at your party, they are watching you. They're paying attention. And if our goal is to try to get some new team members when we do our parties, we have to make sure we keep it extremely simple, and of course, absolutely, it must be fun. People are all about free things, so be sure you bring some little gifts that you can give to your customers and to your host as well. I like to keep it very simple, maybe like some scent samples. Maybe your discontinued testers. We recently went through a transition, so take those old testers, put a few of them in some little baggies with some curly ribbon and use those for your prizes. I always do a drawing. I like to do an on-time drawing for guests who arrive on time, and so I'll often give those away. Of course, you can use scent circles, bars, anything, whether it's current product or not. If you have it available, make it fun. If you do some games, again, make sure that you're using things that you currently have and you don't have to break the bank to have some fun and give some things away. This is how I go to my parties. I truly just stick everything I can in that one bag. This is the new Scentsy Family carrying bag, which is fabulous. It holds everything I need it to do a successful party. And then I bring my testers in my Snapware container. Snapware in the United States, I know for certain, can be found at Office Depot or Target. I like to use these because they snap apart. I put the different categories. I combine a couple that only have a few, like I might have the Scentsy Romance and the Scents of the Month in one. And then when it's time for me to pass around my fragrances, I will actually pass those around. They just come apart, and that way they can keep them together in the containers, and they're all nice and organized. So I make one trip in, one trip out. Very simple, very easy. This is actually a very simple home party that I recently did. Everything you see here on the table fit into that bag that I demonstrated before. And I like to try, if possible, to bring something from a variety of things in the catalog. If you're a new consultant, obviously you have your starter kit. And then as you continue to grow your business, I highly recommend re-engaging and putting some of that back into your business, such as getting like maybe one of the core warmers, the new lampshades. I definitely recommend having a plug-in, but give yourself time and slowly just accumulate some of the new items to enhance your kit. I have a picture of the Layers products over on the right. What I like to do is I keep all my empty Layers containers, and then I pass those down to my newer team members. Even if they're empty, it doesn't matter. It's something else you can add to your table. It looks nice, and it's another reminder for you to be sure and share about the Layers product, which is a great tool. I know I go to Scentsy parties, and I still have parties where people have never heard of Scentsy, and I go to parties where people tell me they have a whole drawer full of Scentsy bars. If that's the case, then they are the perfect candidates for our Layers product, because we would hope everybody bathes, and we would hope everybody does laundry. Therefore, they definitely can use our Layers by Scentsy products. So be sure that you're doing a good job of demoing those at your home parties. What to bring? Of course, I'm not going to give you a complete list because most of it is probably obvious, but these are items I have found that oftentimes new team members don't particularly think about. One is your booking calendar. You always want to have your calendar of your available dates with you so that you can secure those parties right there that night. I always bring a bag or basket party to demonstrate how easy it is. If you don't want to clean your house, if you don't want to invite your friends over, it's okay. We offer bag and basket parties. So I like to bring one to show them how fun they are and how easy they are. Bring a calculator. If you're not good on your phone like me, I still like the old-fashioned calculator that has the percent sign. So be sure you have one of those in your bag. And remember, you never know where you're going to be setting up at someone else's home. So I like to include an extension cord, which also has 6 different outlet plugs so that I can light up those warmers that are going to look much better once they're plugged in. Of course, you want to always bring host packets and information packets to have those available for those that express an interest. Over on the right, you will see that I've got my lap board. I use these when the guests arrive. I simply hand them a lap board. In my lap board, they're just some simple clipboards, and then I take a file folder, which I cut in half. I use the plastic ones because they will hold up a lot better. Then I insert in them a warmer or scent of the month flyer if I don't have it to bring live. I always try to bring it to the actual party, but if for some reason I didn't have it, then I would just insert the flyer there. I actually put a flyer on our new custom gift warmers as well. I always have a host join, an order form, and a Scentsy wish list. You'll notice I do not have the catalog in there, for I don't want that to be a distraction. I really want them focusing on those other items that I have in the lap board. And I will give them a catalog when I'm getting ready to do my party demonstration. I also bring, I happen to be a consultant for both Bellotta and Grace Adele. So I do bring those catalogs and cards with me to my home parties. And when I'm talking about the host opportunities, I make sure they know that I'm a consultant for the other brands. And I personally, this is by my choice, I offer my particular guests at any party to do, if they book any of those particular brands, I still give my host an additional half-price item. And that's just something I do. And so if they have an interest, I'm always sure to have those catalogs, and I share those with them after I've completed their Scentsy family order. The demo, this is really important. It's important to remember it needs to be short and sweet. Odds are they want to come, they want to know about the product, and then they want to get back to whatever they were doing or hang out with their friends that they haven't seen in forever and eat. They don't care about your whole life story. As much as you might want to share it, they really don't care. So it's important that you keep it very, very efficient. For example, when I start my home parties, the first thing I do is I get everybody together, and of course I do my on-time drawing, and then I'm going to introduce myself, and I'm going to say something like this. Hi, my name is Tracy DeMario, and I am going to be your Scentsy consultant tonight. I'm super excited that Sherry has asked me to be the consultant. How many of you have been to a Scentsy party before? And I'm making a personal note at that point of who says they've been to a party, because I really want to focus in on both of them and the others who haven't for a variety of different reasons throughout that evening. The next thing I'm going to say is something like, I want to invite each and every one of you to watch me as I do my home party tonight. You're going to find this is so easy, and most of all, it's fun. So please watch, and if you're interested later, I'll have some information packets if you would too like to just learn about becoming a Scentsy consultant. I'm going to be sure that I do a good job of sprinkling the business opportunity at least 3 times during my presentation. And so I do that in the beginning. I just invited them to watch me to see if it's something they might be interested in. Throughout the session, I will find another opportunity to say something. For example, I currently use the Layer sunscreen product before it was discontinued, so now this month I'll come up with a new one. But I a lot of times would use the Layer sunscreen. And so when I would get to that part of my demo, I would pick that up and say something like, oh my word, I just came back from an all-expense-paid vacation to Cancun, Mexico. Thanks to Scentsy, it's actually my 8th expense-paid vacation, and I used this sunscreen, and it was amazing. It's not greasy like so many others that you can't wait to get to the shower to rinse off. It actually feels like a moisturizing lotion, and I love it. So what did I just do? I didn't ask them to join my team, but I just put another little thought into their mind. Wow, she's been on vacation. Her company sent her on a trip. You know, I'm just planting seeds at this point. And then again, when I close, I will again, at that point, share some additional information on the business opportunity and encourage them to visit with me to get an information packet. Home party coaching. This is critical to the success of your party. You need to keep your host in show mode. I try to book 30 days, no more than 6 months in advance. It's really hard to keep your host excited. If they're excited that night, but come 6 weeks from now, all the momentum is gone unless you do a really good job of host coaching. You need to build a relationship with your host. They need to know that you are excited and it's your goal to help them get as much as possible for free and half price. And they're going to do that by doing and asking, building that relationship, by doing little things. For example, I always do a catalog walkthrough with my host because I want to encourage them to collect outside orders. If they don't know the catalog or they don't understand the combine and save, that's going to affect their ability to get outside orders. And we all know not everyone they invite is going to be able to attend live and in person. I want to keep them excited. So if it should fall on the time period where I get a new Warmer of the Month flyer and a new scent, I'm going to mail her a little card saying, I'm so excited about your party. Check out the new warmer. Check out the new scent. I'm going to send her a text message. It's going to say, hey, girl, 2 weeks and counting. I can't wait to see you at your party. We're going to have a blast. I'm going to do little things to keep them engaged. Also, I ask them to fill out their wish list. And while they're thinking about their wish list, who do they have birthdays coming up? Who do they have weddings coming up? I want their wish list to be long of items that they want, because that, again, is going to encourage them to want to have better attendance and do a better job of selecting those outside orders. I highly recommend mailing invitations. I know with social media and email, people have gotten away from that, but I'm here to tell you for certainty that my hosts, that I can either mail for them their invites or I get to mail their invitations, we always have a better turnout. Invitations do stand out in the mail, so really, really encourage them to do that. You can even put a little note on those postcards for different prizes. You know, bring your postcard and you might be eligible for a prize, and maybe have a special sticker on one of them, and if that person comes, they get an extra door prize. Find some fun ways to have them hang on to that invitation and post it and keep it memorable. Offer an incentive. Hey, if you collect $100 in outside orders, I'm going to let you, pick a free scent circle of your choice in addition to your host reward. Just something, whatever you can afford to offer. It does not have to be a lot. It can be a surprise gift. Really important that you make sure they get the completed order form information on outside orders. I like to tell my hosts of all kinds of parties, I need to be sure when you're collecting orders that they fill out the entire top portion of this order form. All of our warmers have a lifetime electrical warranty, and so in order for me to honor that, I need to put them in my system that proves they bought it from me, and should they ever have any electrical issues, I can warranty it. And I need to capture that information so I can do a good job of following up. I set all of my parties up with an online link, and I encourage them to share that information with friends and families that don't live in their area and out of state. Be sure that it's really important you discuss the closing date, especially if it's a party towards the end of the month. Many of you are very, determined, and you know what you need to do in order to pay bills and certain things with your business. So you need to be sure that closing date is made and it's committed to in advance. So if you're expecting that PRV to go on 1 month and she decides to hold it open until the 2nd of the following month, that's going to affect your paycheck. So have those conversations and be firm on it. Be sure you call in advance for a head count. I like to call about 3 to 4 days in advance, check in with my host, how many do you have confirming? At that point, I will remind her to call or text every invited guest and remind them of the on-time drawing. Again, it gives her another opportunity to engage in those guests to increase attendance. As far as booking tools, there's a lot of ways you can get bookings. Booking calendars are fabulous, but you have to remember to bring them with you, obviously. Booking bags are another great way, and later in this presentation I will share some links that you can, on your own time, go back and view those if you would like to watch them. They're different YouTube videos on how to use your booking bags. Stack the host is a very common and popular way as well. Open date cards, you'll see here over on the right, an open date card tree. This one is really nice. It's way better than anything I could have ever created, but you'll see she's got a bunch of dates she's available. If the host selects that date, they can then open it up and they will get the prize or the item inside when they host their party. For example, it might say free scent circle with $25 order. No sales tax on orders of, $25 or less. Select a free bar from my stash. Whatever you might want to put in your cards as an incentive for booking. Booking bingo is really fun, and again, I'm going to share a video. And the absolute best thing you can do is ask. You must be willing to ask. Not only during your party presentation do you need to offer the host opportunity, but once you are collecting orders from your customers and they're coming to you with their orders, I personally, if they've not already booked with me or said they wanted to book, I will ask each and every person. I will say to them, oh gosh, it was really great meeting you. I'm really glad you're going to love this, new French lavender bar and this new plug-in. Would you consider having a home or bag party for Susan? It would really help her out. I'm trying to help her get as much free and half-price items as possible. And I'm going to ask them, because a lot of times people in a one-on-one situation are much more likely and more comfortable to actually book. Or if they give me some kind of a reason why they can't, maybe it's a very easy objection that I can help them understand how simple and easy it would be. And again, not only will they get host rewards, but it's going to help their host. These are some different references that you can go back and review on your own time. I've got the booking bags, booking bingo, stack the host. And then I've done some very simple, mostly for newer consultant home party demos, as well as a couple I have done for Grace Adele. So feel free to check those out on your own time if those are helpful, and share those with others. Party styles. There's the presentation style, which is my personal preference and what I feel most comfortable and most successful at. And there's open house. Different hosts and different consultants are going to have different preferences. You should ask them what they prefer, and then you personally need to decide which is going to be better for you. Maybe you need to try some different ways and see which is going to be best and which you're most comfortable with. There's pros and cons to both, but you need to figure out what works best for you and for your host. Presentation is very important, and I'm sure many of you can do a far better job than I. This is very simple, but instead of just throwing everything in a bag and handing it to my host, take a little extra time. Put some little note cards with the guest names. Put some scent samples in their bag. Put some curly ribbon, some tissue paper. Dress those packages up so it looks like a present and a gift. You want to stand out to these customers so that they'll remember, wow, that lady that did Susie's party was really good. I think I want to do a party, and I'm going to call that consultant. Bag and basket parties. This is an excellent way, especially for those of you that already work full-time jobs or maybe have a lot of commitments. These are a great way to draw a lot of PRV, and if you do a good job at training your hosts to get those order forms, there's a lot of follow-up that can be done, which can lead to very good results in the end for PRV, additional parties, as well as possible sponsoring. So what I like to do is be sure, again, I do a good job with my host going over that catalog. I need to be sure she understands those combine and save, because that is where people will not only save money, but it will also increase the opportunity for upsells. Always set up these parties online and encourage her to share that information with those that live out of town. I like to use the little binders that I keep all of my information in. You can get these through Scentsy Family Store, as well as I know a lot of places like Staples and Office Depot carry them as well. That's just my personal preference. In my binder, I keep the catalog, and I only give my host 3 catalogs, and I tell her these are for you to use to collect orders. When your guests make a purchase, I will make sure they will each get a catalog. So please do not pass out the catalogs at random, for I will make sure they all get one. In other words, I don't want my host calling me every other day saying, I need more catalogs, I need more catalogs, and she's papering the office with catalogs but ends up with 5 orders. And that will often happen. So this way, she's got more of a commitment of holding people down to getting those orders. I like to put 10 order forms, the warmer of the month information, of course, join and host brochures, and my business card. You can decide what bag or basket you want to use. I use the white Dazzle bags that came from Scentsy Family Store, as well as their newer version, which they have their insulated totes, which are really fabulous. And I do recommend, whenever you're doing a bag or basket party, to ask your host if she already has a Scentsy warmer, to try to take that to wherever she's going, to her bunco party, to her Bible study, to her office, so that people can actually see how fabulous our warmers are. Booking ideas for those. I tell you, some of the best things that you can do is simply carrying around your set of mini testers everywhere you go. And I mean everywhere you go. Especially with the summer coming, it will make it easier for you. But if you're having lunch with a girlfriend, you take those mini testers, you set them on the table at the restaurant. You know, maybe your girlfriend could care less because she's already smelled every one, or she might even be a consultant. But people are going to notice, whether it's fellow guests, your server, people are going to ask you, what are those? Are those chapsticks? Is that makeup? What is that? Some will know it's Scentsy, and that's a great conversation starter. You want to be sure when you give them your information, when they ask you for information, that you get their contact information too, so you can follow up with your booking special or whatever it is you want to do to entice them. Bars. If you don't have the mini testers, then carry a couple of bars in your purse. And when you go to pay at the grocery store and you have to dig out for your wallet, you just so happen to put those bars on the counter as you're looking for your wallet. People are going to notice. The cashier is going to notice, the person behind you, the person bagging. People are going to notice these things. So be sure you use these. They're great visuals to gather attention. Same with catalogs. Almost everywhere I go, wherever I'm sitting, I will grab a catalog and I'll just set it out. Like I'm digging through my purse or I'm having lunch, whatever. I make it very visible. It's a conversation starter for not only the people you might be with, but those that are around that see it. And these are great tools for getting bookings because oftentimes people will want a lot of things out of our catalog or a lot of our new spring and summer fragrances, but they may not have the means to pay for them. So you can offer them away. They can get it for free or half price. Online parties are extremely popular. I still think it's very important that you coach your host on the catalog. I also recommend emailing a host packet and or catalog to your host so she can forward that to people who might not be real savvy online. It's really important not only that you set up the party in your workstation, but that you send the link that goes actually into that party to your host. If you were just telling your host, oh, have your people go to my website and click on your name, there's going to be many, many people that are going to miss that, and those orders are not going to get attached to her party, and therefore she will not get host rewards. But if you will copy and paste the link that goes directly into her party and have her use that to advertise, she will have a lot more success at people getting the orders into that order. Make sure your host understands the importance of that. Make sure you go over that link is what she wants to forward. Make sure she knows that all online orders will be automatically charged and shipped. She doesn't have to deal with any of that, and things do not get held up. I typically leave my online parties open for a week. Encourage your host to promote their parties through social media. This can be huge, and if they will allow you to be a host as well, you can go on and keep that interactive. Also, just a little side note, I highly recommend making sure that you keep an online order here, or whatever name you want to call it, on your website at all times. Therefore, your random cousins, neighbors, whoever that goes on your website, hopefully they will click on that, and therefore you can start accumulating some PRV to eventually turn into host rewards for yourself. Okay, like we mentioned, Facebook events are really popular. And so if I have someone who's doing a home or bag or an online party, I always encourage them to do that and make me the host. I'm going to at least once a day go into that event, and I'm going to post an item, and I'm going to give a description of that item. One day I might post our plug-in and say these are perfect nightlights for your bathrooms or smaller spaces. Simply place one cube in your plug-in and you're going to have a great fragrance. Maybe I would put, the Layers body spray and talk about how fabulous it is, or the room spray, and talk about these concentrated room sprays have approximately 600 sprays and work fabulous for travel. Just different things to keep it active, posting images of the warmers. That's going to draw interest and get people paying attention, and hopefully you'll post something that will trigger something to remind them, oh, I really need that, or I love that. That'll go perfect with my room. Live Facebook parties have been very popular. And why I personally have not done them, because that's not my strength. I've seen a lot of people that are doing these live Facebook events where people can be in their pajamas at home at a certain time, and the consultant is entertaining them through a live event. So that's something you might try. Another really great booking tool that you can do on social media is using something like this picture I have shown here next to this here, and posting something like this. Do you have a favorite brand, Scentsy, Grace Adele, or Velada? And obviously you only want to mention the ones you sell. If so, pick a number between 1 and 15 and make a comment of which brand you love. You will not want to miss this. I'm feeling generous. At that point, when you start seeing people tag your post and saying like Velada 15, Velada 7, you can then private message them, and this must be done through private message, and say, I'm so excited that you picked Velada. I too love Velada. In fact, I have a great special. Because you picked the number 8, you will be able, by hosting a party, an online party, a Facebook party, or a home party, you will be able to pick any warmer out of the catalog for only $8. Or Scentsy, you could do a plug-in, you could do a warmer, whatever you can afford. You need to figure out what that is. But the idea is whatever number they pick, that's what they're going to pay for something that you decide that you can afford to pay for the difference. And this is where having those online order here links and accumulating extra host rewards to have stuff on hand is going to help you. Plus, I often use my perpetual booking reward in this case so that I don't end up paying, full price or full half price. What defines a party? Well, there's lots of different things you can do. Stop and sit, I think they're fun. Meet for coffee. At a party, when you're at the baseball practice, make sure you've got your stuff on you. Whip them out. Say, hey, this is the perfect time. We have a new catalog, new spring and summer scents. You've got to check these out. I want to know your favorites. Which ones do you like? Naturally, People are going to get excited and they're going to want some Scentsy. So this way you can help them. Impromptu parties are fabulous. Keep a party with you all the time. Keep a little basket with a few light bulbs, a few bars, some catalogs, some room sprays, maybe even a warmer. And keep it with you. When you're going in to get your nails done, you just happen to take it in and say, oh, I just got this new plug-in and I wanted to show you guys. Isn't it adorable? Again, you'll be surprised to the interest that it will create. As I touched on before, when you're having lunch next time with your girlfriend, pull out those samples, start smelling, ask opinions, get some feedback. You'll be surprised, not only her, but the others around you. It can generate interest. And it only takes $150 in orders before you or your friends could get host rewards. Mystery parties are still very popular. This is when you have a party going, and for people that order, their name can go into a drawing, and whoever's name you pick, they can reap the host rewards. So those are also extremely popular. I hope you have found this helpful, and I hopefully you'll try some of these ideas, or maybe you'll have some better ideas, and as a result, can continue to increase your sales and your PRV. With that, I hope you go out and have a fabulous day. Thank you.